Okay, welcome back everyone to the Cranberry Secondary College podcast. As always, you have me, Mr. Jung, and
We got me, Mr. L.
yeah, so welcome back. So this is the first episode back from holidays. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And you know what I just realized? This is actually our first episode together in the same room when it's just me and you.
yeah, I know, right? Like we had
Yeah.
guests the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I remember like some kids even ask us like, hey, so what you gonna do when you run out of guests? I'm like, well, me and Mr. Young can just keep talking.
yeah. Like we've actually had quite a few guests this like throughout the last few episodes, like for a long time.
Yeah.
I think the last time actually, if you are one of the people who've joined in since last year, I think the last time it was just the two of us, might have, oh wait, no, it might have been after we got out of lockdown,
I
unless we had a few episodes in between.
I do remember one episode of us together and I think it was just me and you over Zoom actually.
Mm.
And actually, no, actually, I think we did talk about excursions
Oh, we did?
on that one. Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
think we talked about excursions on that one.
Uh,
Because, yeah, me and Mr. Young were just explaining to each other, say, hey, what should we talk about? Should we talk about excursions? But I just think, I think there are some other excursions that I may not have brought up. So, put in the comments if you've actually, yeah, just let us know if you've heard some of these stories before, but I don't think so. All right.
yeah.
But yeah.
So, before we get into excursions, I'd probably like everyone would like to catch up with how we're going, I guess.
Yeah.
So, how was your holiday?
Yeah, my holidays was local. I didn't go out of state. I mean, it's great news hearing that New Zealand is opening up to us, which is great. No, I just stayed in the city, actually. I spent 2 days staying in the city. One of the cool activities that I did in the city that a lot of people went to was the National Gallery, the NGV,
Yes.
right? For those of you who haven't heard, but I'm pretty sure it's finishing soon anyway. If not, I think it already has finished.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think it already has finished. The NGV was doing this exhibition of like modern art, and so it's really Instagrammable, if that's a word. Instagrammable.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think it
that's
is.
yeah. So that's actually the reason why it was so popular, in my opinion. Like looking at the non-Instagrammable parts, there wasn't that many people, but then there were parts where everyone was posting the same thing.
Wait, I think I know which one it is.
Which ones?
Is it where all of the furniture is a lot bigger than everyone and everyone's like reaching up towards a sink?
It's both. So it's
Oh.
either the furniture are super big, or you go into the very next room. It might look like the exact same room, but everything is shrunken down.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping to go to the NGV at some point. So fingers crossed they're still up.
If it is still available, make sure you pre-book online because it is free, but because of COVID reasons, they need to you need to book tickets. And what happened was on that day when I rocked up, thank God I actually pre-booked tickets because there was a line to just get tickets to go in. And then the line was so long, it went from pretty much where the Yarra River was, right where the bridge was, all the way to the NGV. And once you go in, what you don't realize is if you haven't been before or you didn't hear any advice from people, when you actually go in, you have to line up again. There's another long line just to get into the exhibition. So I can't imagine those people in the middle who didn't know. That'd be the worst case scenario. You line up half a day, you go in, and you got to line up again.
And then it's like you only get like what, half an hour to walk through it if you lined up early.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely book in early. I might have to do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the exhibitions, the most common one that everyone all Instagrams. Another one is of like these miniature people. You can just stand next to them. But the thing that Mr. Chamberlain and I were talking about, because Mr. Chamberlain went as well, he went at a different time. There's actually other exhibitions which aren't as Instagrammable, but the story behind them are really cool, right? Because for me, I'm someone that doesn't understand art really well, right? I'm not like someone that can look at a piece of art, but yes, like the painter is trying to show this and talk about this,
You can
right?
you can see, you can feel the undertones of this painting.
Oh, dude, the brush strokes and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not someone like that. Musically, I can,
Yeah.
performing arts. But for pictures, I can't, or paint, I can't. So the thing was, though, every single art piece actually had some like descriptions around it. And a lot of people I felt like were more focused with just taking the photos to post on the Instagram than actually read what the artwork was about. So one of the ones that actually stood out to Mr. Chamberlain and myself when we went separately was there was this one room and it was just full of trophies.
Ah.
So it's trophies from like imagine your sports clubs, yeah. Imagine your footy, you've won the season, you get a trophy. There's a soccer one. There's the whole room was probably 4 rows, and each trophy shelf was like 5 shelves, and they went across like 6 shelves. So there's heaps of trophies. But the thing about each of the trophies was that each one of them, the comments were like along the lines of, "I worked so hard to only just get this." And then there was one that's like a badminton one that was like, growing up, I never had opportunities to play this one. So each trophy had some sort of like underlying story behind it. So, you know, it's, I think it's interesting if you actually take some time to read the descriptions. You don't have to be an art connoisseur,
Yeah.
right? But you just have to take some time to read what people want to talk about.
Yeah, it's actually quite meaningful going quite slow through art museums or art galleries.
Yeah.
I find that like when I go to any of those like museums, art galleries, people just like walk through and just have a quick glance and they're like, "Oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. Oh, I wonder what that is." But they don't actually take the time to just slow it down and like read everything and try to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you do that, you're kind of missing out on a big proportion of that experience.
Yeah.
So
Totally, 100%. So, NGV was something that I went to. I know at Acme, you know, ACMI, I don't know if they call it Acme or ACMI. I know soon that there's going to be a Disney exhibit, but you got to pay for it.
cool.
I think there's a video game one that's going on right now, actually, but I'm not too sure. I think some of my friends might be going to that. I think it might be permanent. I'm not too sure. But one thing I did do quite a lot of over the holidays was mini golf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you play mini golf much?
One time I tried to play mini golf, and for some reason it didn't register to me that I had to hit the ball lighter than a normal golf.
What happened to the ball?
So it actually ended up flying beyond the fence and onto a road. So that road was actually a freeway.
Yeah.
And so I hit it a bit too hard and just flew over the fence and just went onto the freeway. Luckily, no one got hurt,
Yeah.
but I was like, I need to really control myself.
Yeah.
Like, I have the urge to like swing the golf, like the mini golf club
Yeah.
with all my strength, but I'm like, oh, maybe just a light tap from now on.
Yeah, I think you got too much muscles. That's why.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I think so.
Not just momentum.
Okay, physics.
Yeah, physics. But that's like my 80% of my mini golf history.
Okay.
The other one is me counting my points and thinking the highest points wins.
Yeah.
And every time I got the highest points.
So for those of you who don't know, actually for golf and mini golf, in that case, the lower the score you get is actually better. So you can even go to negatives, right? Negatives is meant to be really good. So even if you don't understand golf, you can watch on TV, and when you can see the winning scores of a golfer, it's always negative something usually. So the one I went to was Holy Moly first.
Oh, yeah.
There's quite a few of them around, you know. So that one I went on I think the Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, I went with just my wife, and we went to Pixar Hut.
Ah.
Now, I believe that's finishing soon. I believe that's finishing this week. So if you haven't got a chance, then you want to go. It is a bit more expensive, but Pixar Hut, have you heard of Pixar Hut before? Okay.
I think I have.
So Pixar Hut, I remember seeing it in videos of my friends doing it in Queensland at first, in Brizzy. So what happened was that they then moved Pixar Hut down to Melbourne as well. There's 18 holes. Each of the holes is based on one Pixar movie.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
Yes. So, but other than Toy Story, there was like 4 of them because of there's going to be 4 Toy Story, 3 Toy Story movies with 4th one coming out, right?
Yeah.
Then there's everything else: Ratatouille, Brave, even Soul, the most recent ones, right? Every single hole is themed around that movie, which is pretty cool. Quite pricey, but it's outdoor, but it was quite fun. It was definitely quite fun. So, for those of you who are really mini golf connoisseurs, as I call it, experts, I think you'll probably enjoy the design of Holy Moly type of mini golf more, like the way that the golf course works. If you prefer that, go to Holy Moly. But if you aren't a crazy mini golf fan and you just like, Disney stuff, Pixar stuff, then definitely go to the Pixar part. Yeah, that's the way I see it.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
I heard that there's actually a mini golf place that's like in the dark, but they use LED lights.
Oh.
Like even your golf club will have an LED light on it, and you can use that to play.
There was one at Docklands a few years ago. I don't think it's there anymore unless they moved.
Potentially.
Yeah, I know there's like I think they might call it Hole in the Dark or something like that.
Yeah, no, it would have been like pretty fun to do, like just
Yeah.
because I'm already bad at mini golf, and then like just chuck in the factor that you can't really actually see much.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Like because that covers up how bad I am at playing.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just everyone will get high numbers.
Yeah.
So you can't judge me if everyone gets high numbers.
Yeah. I think thinking back of high school and school holidays, mini golf was one of the common things that we did. I think in my high schools, a lot of people went ice skating as well, like at Docklands. I don't think there's any ice skating rinks near Cranbourne here, so maybe it's not as common. But I guarantee you, surely some of you must have gone bowling,
Yeah.
or
bowling.
you went to watch some sort of movies or something.
Ooh. Or there's escape rooms, which are amazingly fun.
Yeah.
Or there's also, which I think escape room has an age limit now, like some of them.
Some do, not
Yeah.
all.
So escape rooms are pretty fun, and then laser tag,
Oh yes.
laser
Oh
tag
yes.
and paintball.
Yep.
They're great.
Did you actually play paintball growing up? I never did.
I never did because I was like, this is gonna hurt a lot.
Yes.
And some people are not very good with their aiming, and sometimes they can hit you in the face.
Yep.
The one I did do was laser tag. So I used to go to peak memory for my birthdays. Sidetracked. Always just went to the
Yeah.
laser tag non-stop.
Yeah.
But most memorable laser tag I went to was actually we had to drive 2 hours out of the city.
Wow.
We went to a forest.
Yeah.
And played laser tag there.
I've done that one before.
Yeah, that's so great.
That's the one where they put paint on your face and you dress up in a full.
No, you don't have to.
Oh,
Like, it's
really?
like it's just it was I was
Well, we had the option to, but
Yeah.
did you get to wear camo clothing at least?
no, you didn't have to.
Really?
Like you could, but you didn't have to.
So our place, the one that I went to for laser tag outdoor, they gave everyone that camo clothing. Now you can choose to put paint on your face or not, but you never actually realize how good camo clothing actually is until you actually see it in like a giant forest. I've never realized that. I mean, like every single time I see someone wearing camo clothing, I'm like, surely, like that's so obvious. You see patches.
Yeah.
But when you're lying down low and you've only just got like a nozzle sticking out for your laser tag, I was like, wow, that's
like-
actually yeah.
It's hard to see people.
Yeah. Did you play like a regular laser tag game, or was there special rules? Because for me, my outdoor one was capture the flag.
Oh, no, ours was just normal.
Yep.
So we were in year 6.
Okay.
So that's probably why like we didn't have to wear anything because they were like they might get lost.
Yeah.
We need to be able to see them.
Yeah.
But knowing me, I would have gotten lost
Yeah.
because what happens is they had like ropes
Yep.
as boundaries for where you can run because it's like in an actual like forest.
Yep.
So we didn't know.
And you
And
ran past.
No, I was like, oh, there's a rope here. Maybe it's just an obstacle that I have to like go under.
Yeah.
And then at one point I was like running past, but I was running along the rope.
Okay.
And then so like when they were like, okay, it's ended, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm also directionally challenged.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just a bad mix.
Yeah.
But we got there.
That's good.
I'm here.
Yeah. Exactly. You didn't get lost in the
Yes,
forest.
exactly. But it
Yeah.
was so fun because just having a group of like around 20 other friends
Yep.
just playing laser tag and the competition of it, perfect.
Yeah. I think speaking of laser tag, that actually reminds me back of high school because for me in high school for PE, yes, year 7 and year 8, you do PE based on whatever the teacher tells you. So, term 1, we're all going to focus on handball. Term 2, all lacrosse, whatever it is, right? But then at year 9, or if it was year 10, if I remember correctly, you actually got to choose.
Ah.
So, for my school, we actually were close to Dark Zone in Box Hill. So Dark Zone it's torn down now, was a laser tag place. So you could actually, for PE, do laser tag. So literally every single week on the Thursday afternoon, right, from like 1 o'clock, right, during lunchtime, you jump on the bus, right, school bus, they take you to Box Hill, you do laser tag, and then take you back to school.
What?
Yeah. It's first come, first serve basis, so a lot of people signed up really quickly. It was the most expensive one as well, of course, because there was the bus. But yeah, so I remember taking part in that. So laser tag has a lot of running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I think the last time I played laser tag was actually last year in between the lockdowns. And so, pro tip, if you're going out, don't dress nice with like pointy shoes. It's hard to play with laser tag with.
Did you trip over? Or?
So many times.
Yeah.
So many times. But then it's like, oh, am I tripping over or am I just dodging?
Yeah.
But like it's actually pretty fun. In the city they have quite a few laser tag options.
Yeah.
And I remember Sidetracked was one. I actually remember going to the Dark Zone at one point. But then I don't actually know if there's any other laser tag places.
Well, around here, there is a laser tag place because it would have been from 2 years ago, if I remember. I think it was 2 years ago. Myself and the other teachers in the year 9 of... Were we year 9 or year 8 team? I forgot which team I was in at that time, but it's myself and a bunch of other teachers. We went to the Strike in Frankston. So it was Strike Bowling, but it also had laser tag in it.
yes.
And I remember missed the ball, absolutely destroyed everyone. She just ran around just shooting everyone. Every strategy that I tried didn't work. I tried camping, didn't work. Tried
Nah.
running around, didn't work. I was so mad.
Could just outrun you every time.
Well, she just kept ambushing me. It just came out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell? Missed the ball. What the hell?
Like, please, give me a chance.
Yeah, I got absolutely destroyed for that. And I'm usually pretty good at laser tag. So it's like, yeah, pretty surprised. But I think that is the closest one because Strike has, bowling and it's got the escape rooms and it's got the laser tag. Some strikes actually go hand in hand with Holy Moly.
True.
So the one that I went to in Glen Waverley, the Holy Moly, had that option as well with the escape room and the bowling. But in high school, I don't know about you, Mr. Young, but we never had escape rooms. Like, it wasn't a common thing.
No, it wasn't. Like,
It wasn't until like when we were in uni, maybe.
yeah, I think so. Like,
Yeah.
I never actually got the chance to do an escape room until 2-3 years ago. So, like, I don't think it was like a really big thing
Nah.
till recently.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the big thing. And then there was always bowling as well. Bowling over the school holidays.
Yeah.
Usually, AMF or Strike does deals
Yeah,
for,
yeah, yeah.
for kids for school holiday.
I used to, because I live closer to the city,
Yeah.
so I used to go to Southland, and they always had
yeah.
AMF bowling. So good.
There used to be one in Box Hill and AMF, and then they tore it down. But yeah, I mean, Forest Hill's my closest bowling. But for bowling, would you consider yourself good at bowling?
I'm horrendous.
Yeah.
I am absolutely horrendous.
So bowling's maximum score is 300, right? The way I see it is that if you can get above 100 but below 150, then you're pretty okay. Then you're like average. Anything below 100, you're bad. Right?
I'm like a consistent 80.
Consistent 80? I'm around consistent 80 as well. The annoying thing is like I feel like I've got it. Like I'm so inconsistent. I'll literally get 2 or 3 strikes in a row, and then I'm like, okay, I've memorized my muscle memory,
Yeah.
where to aim to get strikes, and then I'll bomb the next 5 and not hit a single pin.
Yep, it's like straight to the gullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like every time I'm like, can we put on bumpers?
That's
how bad I am.
Yeah. So bumpers, yeah. I wish I could, but I'm too prideful to put up the bumpers.
Nah, I have no pride. I'm like, just let's bump it. Like,
Yeah.
please. I need to like hit the pins at the end.
Yeah.
It's not going in if I don't use it.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of school holidays, I think of also sleeping in quite a bit. How about yeah.
Cinemas.
Cinemas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
cinemas are good. We typically do a watch list at the end, so like we'll leave that part for there.
Yeah.
But like cinemas was like my go-to holiday stuff
Yeah.
as a high schooler.
Okay. No, I didn't go to cinemas too much. I mean, for me, it's always based on what movie, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So, for example, there was this one time I had friends that invited me to watch the last Hunger Games movie, but part one. And that was, I think, the only time that I went to watch a movie for the sake of friends instead of me wanting to watch a movie. I fell asleep. That's the
Yeah.
only time I've ever fallen asleep in the cinema.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Last time I watched the movie, well, like just to hang out with like a big group of friends on a holiday, think was for oh, it was one of those like horror movies. It's you know how there's like A Quiet Place. There was one where it's like Lights Out. That one scared me.
Oh, yep, I know that one. Yep,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
I'm really bad with horror.
Yeah.
So like I literally tell everyone
Yeah.
that when I watch horror, I literally just have my hands against my ears the whole time. So like,
Yeah.
I don't really understand what's happening because I can't really hear what's happening.
Isn't that the same with video games though? Like video games, you'd also want to block your ears if it's gonna be like a jump scare, right?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Cannot watch that. Cannot play that.
Yeah. I mean, school holidays, we did play a lot of games, didn't we? Like, I just finished Hades. Like,
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
talking to you about
Yeah, yeah.
Hades. Yeah, so.
I just started Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, that's the open world one, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
So, a really good thing is I probably shouldn't be advertising this because it would probably get people really distracted throughout the term.
Okay.
But Final Fantasy 14, they have a free trial,
Oh, boy.
and basically there's no time limit
Okay.
for the free trial. You
No,
can play
wait, no time limit.
no time limit.
So I'm guessing that means you're capped in some things.
You're capped at a level.
Ah, no wonder why. And then when you pay, that's
can-
when you can break that level.
Yeah, but the level is like the max level in the game is 80.
Yeah.
The level is capped at 60.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then you can finish one whole set of main story quests, and then you can finish. Oh, there's actually two whole sets of main story quests, which is like 160 main story quests that you can do.
Yeah.
And like even if you hit that level cap, you can still do everything else. You can still play, do all the side quests until you buy it. So I'm like,
That's actually quite similar to RuneScape then, if I think about it. Because I mean, so many games these days, you know, us people us teachers and adults who've grown up in the 90s remember that games, when you pay for a game, you get the full game. None of this DLC
No.
crap, right?
No.
But then these days, I guess this gen is used to, you know, pay to win and DLC. But that's why I find it quite interesting that Final Fantasy 14 is done in the olden style, where you pretty much do get most of the game, and if you do pay, then you only get like a little bit extra.
Yeah.
But if you want to be top of everyone else and be like better than everyone else, then that's when you pay for it.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what RuneScape was like as well.
RuneScape
in
was
a way.
like, oh yeah, because they had the membership.
Membership, yeah, subscription, yeah.
Well, this one's kind of like if you want to actually play and get all the expansions, play all the jobs, you have to buy the base game.
Yep.
But then for as long as you want to play it, you have to continue to subscribe to it,
Yep.
which is the only drawback. But it's such a good game.
Yep.
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, and like how you said, I like how you said we shouldn't be recommending this because you know it's school times. I to this day I still tell people that the PlayStation Portable PSP Final Fantasy Dissidia was the game that killed my ATAR score.
Yes.
If it wasn't for that game, I could have easily got a better ATAR score. But at Year 12, I was just hooked on that game. And I don't know what type of gamer you are, Mr. Yung, but for myself, I'm a completionist.
Yep.
So you're a completionist
Yep.
as well, so it's the worst. So it's like you still keep playing the game when it's not fun anymore because you want to get 100%.
I probably could have done well, like
Yeah.
even better at uni
Yeah.
than what I did. But I decided that I liked playing a game that had a trilogy called Dark Souls,
Oh boy,
which is already hard.
you're a Dark Souls player.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I
Wow.
went through
You're
all
sadistic.
three. Oh, I went through all three, and I had to get every single weapon, every single spell, every single like sub item, and go through every storyline. So I ended up being like on New Game plus plus plus
Yep.
for all three of them.
Oh wow. Did you play Bloodborne as well then, or?
My computer's not that great.
Okay, but
And
you
it's
want to.
like, yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
If I could play Bloodborne, Sekiro,
Yeah. Oh, Sekiro. Yeah.
Neo,
Yeah.
I would.
Have you ever played or have I ever told you about the Dark Souls board game?
You have not.
Okay.
Oh, what is it?
So Dark Souls board game, right? One of my good friends, who's also a teacher, he bought it on Kickstarter when it was like first got introduced, and when the game finally came out, I'm a board games person. Don't get me wrong, I'm a board games person, but Dark Souls board game was the only board game I've ever played in my life that I absolutely hated.
Yeah.
We started at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, assuming that, yeah, we'll probably get one round done, or like the first scenario done. Maybe after you set up, takes half an hour, 1 hour. Do you know what time we played until? Just the first round?
I'm guessing midnight.
Yeah, a little bit past midnight. Have you ever played a board game for 12 hours, people? Right.
Just for like one scenario.
We couldn't beat it. It was just that hard. We finally beat it, or we were one hit away from beating it before we lost at 1 a.m. because we had to modify the rules for ourselves. Because what happens was, you have, as a general gist, we had 3 players, so myself and 2 of my mates. Now the thing is, every time I take a turn, all 5 monsters take their turn. Then my friend takes a turn, then all 5 monsters move again. And then so it actually got really hard because the monsters were taking way more turns than us and were dealing us so much damage, right? We had to modify the rules again and again and again, and even then until the final one. And I just got so mad.
Are you sure you guys read the rules?
We did. We did. So it was meant to be like that. We just kept checking. We're like, this can't be right. No way. This can't be
Maybe
true.
it's like a tactic where they've actually haven't finished the game and they're just stopping you from like actually doing the game.
What I think is that they wanted to emulate the difficulty of Dark Souls. That's what I think. The funny thing is, the moment you open the box, it's just got a cover, like a plastic cover. You are dead. It's literally, yeah.
Yes.
The end screen, like, the end. Dark Souls player will know about it,
Yeah.
right? We're like, are we sure we want to sign up for this
It's
game?
like triggered.
Yeah,
Triggered.
exactly. So that was the first thing you open up the box, it already says you are dead.
Yeah.
I believe there's a Bloodborne board game as well. I think they made that eventually as well. So we just like, nope, not
Is it
touching
sad
it.
that you said the "you are dead" and I could actually like hear the sound effect in my head?
You
of-
can't hear you can't hear pictures.
It's like,
Yes, you can.
yeah.
That
Oh.
meme. Yeah.
But yeah, like other than that, Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah, Monster Hunter Rise.
Like Monster Hunter Rise came out. Haven't bought it yet, but I will be buying it.
Yeah, all my friends and brothers playing it.
But it's the bane of the completionist because there's so many weapons to get.
Yeah.
And armor. And it's so hard, but like it's such a good game.
I tried it before on 3DS and it wasn't my game. I don't know. I just found it very hard to be good at it. My brother's really good at it. You see him dodge, jump, roll, slash, and slowly plan because the monsters, they don't just die, right? Sometimes they run away and you got to chase the monsters down, just set traps. I'm just like, oh, this is so slow because you also don't see their life.
Yeah.
Which is like real life, I guess. You know, you don't see how much hit points they have left. So yeah, that's not my game.
Oh,
But yeah.
I love it because it's like that. And then
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
it's like the parts where it's like, oh, maybe I should like hit the tail a lot more because like if I have a sword or something, I can actually cut it off and
Yeah.
it makes my hunting experience easier.
Yes.
Which is like,
Or you get specific items from that tail part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, oh, I love that. I love that part
Yeah.
about it so much. Which is why I actually jumped into Dark Souls.
Ah, I see. Yeah, for me, the game that I've pre-ordered that's coming out soon is Pokemon Snap.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So as a completionist, it's like the perfect game for me. You know, you'll take photos of every single Pokemon. I don't need to waste time battling it. Yeah, it's a nostalgic game. It's a sequel to a very old game that came out that people have been asking for a sequel for the longest time.
So like basically if you have a copy of a Nintendo 64 or an emulator for it, you'll be able to play this game.
Yeah.
So it was arguably one of my favorite Pokemon games.
Was it?
Yeah, like despite like the whole thing is like you're just taking photos of Pokemon, but it's such a good game.
Yeah, because the thing is, when you explain to people, oh, you're just taking photos of Pokemon, people are like, what's the point? But the thing is, you can't unlock every single Pokemon or every area for Pokemons unless you interact with the environment. So, like for example, one of the classics was there was like an electrode, and as you're driving past the electrode, you're meant to throw a rock at it so that when it explodes, then what happens is that it opens up a new area. Or there was a Charmander that was like dancing and jumping around this lava pit, but when you throw an apple and hit it in the head, it falls in the lava and this giant Charizard jumps
Yeah.
out and you're like, oh my god, take photos,
Yeah,
take
yeah.
photos!
Or like you had to like throw apples and like make
Yeah.
a trail for a Pikachu to follow you or something like
Exactly, yeah.
that. Yeah. It was so good. It was so good. You
Yeah.
highly recommend investing in Pokemon Snap
Mm.
because like honestly, it's such a flexible game and it's actually I would argue it's one of the best for maybe just kind of mentally resetting yourself. If you don't want to like play some intense game.
Yeah,
Like
for
if you
sure.
just want something to like, okay, I've like done a lot today. There's a lot on my mind. I just want something to like wind down and just calm down for the day. That's arguably one of the best games for it.
Yeah,
reckon.
I mean, going to Nintendo is pretty safe for this type of relaxation.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, growing up, I never was allowed home consoles. So I was allowed handheld. So that's why my first was actually the original Game Boy. And then I had the Game Boy Advance, SP, and the Nintendo DS. And I slowly built my way up until finally when I moved out, I was like, all right, I'm buying all the consoles. So that's why for me, my affiliations with Nintendo. But does that mean I don't love Xbox and don't love PlayStation? No. Like, they used to have at Kmart and Target and trials. And they don't have it as much anymore. But, I remember sleepover parties playing Halo all night and also PlayStation. I played a lot of Final Fantasy growing up because I had a friend that went on holiday. He was like, hey, my PlayStation's free anyway. Why don't you guys just look after the PlayStation for the month?
Yeah.
Just played.
Or like what we used to do was just like invite friends over and like, hey, like want to play like Mario Kart? Do you want to play like Super Mario Party? Such a good game actually. And yeah, like that was most of my holidays actually back in the day.
Yeah.
There was one time, like, I think back when I was in high school, what I used to do was I used to literally unplug my PC and have my mom drive me to a sleepover with my PC
Wow.
and just play games like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I never was a PC gamer growing up because we only had one PC in the house and I'm a younger sibling.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Well, like, I'm a younger sibling, but like I'm the one who's like,
Into gaming,
yeah,
right?
whereas my
your-
sister's like,
Not into it. Yeah, till this day, my older brother is still into PC gaming, and that's the reason.
Yeah.
I just was forced to just sit there and just watch him play.
yeah. Well, I don't know about you. This is a segue, by the way.
Sure.
I don't know about you, but one thing I really enjoyed about this holiday was I had time to actually watch TV shows.
Oh, did ya?
Yeah.
I actually started watching some things as well, but I didn't get to watch any full series. But I did watch a movie or two. Why?
Yeah.
What do you watch?
Okay, so this is part of my watch list, so I do recommend this. And it is a Korean drama that I started and binged and finished within 2 days.
Oh wow,
20 episodes.
our age?
Yes.
Crazy.
Mr. Queen.
What's?
So basically, you start off with this male protagonist.
Yep.
And he is the chef for the Blue House. So the Blue House is the White House, but for Korea. And basically, his whole mindset is, with battles or political battles, you can unveil people's secrets by just giving them the best meal they've ever had before. So like, kind of like what I tried to do
Yep.
is like, I try to get into people, like make people like me by giving them some food. Like,
Oh, that always works.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so he has that mindset, and then so he gets involved in some drama because someone's being a bit dodgy in like the political world,
Yep.
and so he actually falls into a pool. When he falls into a pool, he actually hits his head and gets transported in and is moved into another character's body
Yeah.
back in like traditional Korea.
Wow.
Yeah. The thing
As a
is,
chef as well? Or?
no,
No.
he gets
As the queen?
yeah, reborn as the to be queen.
Oh wow.
So he's like, what's happened?
Yeah.
Why am I a female? Like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? What's happening?
Yeah.
And then and he's also using like very modern jargon. Like
Yeah.
he's like calling some of the older generation people around there like boomers.
Yeah.
He's like he's literally using English
Yeah.
whilst trying to talk to the emperor.
Yeah.
And then the emperor's like, well, the emperor's basically married to him,
Yeah.
and then he's like, no touch.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what's no touch?
Yeah.
I don't know what no touch is. And then like they like went into this like really elaborate
Yeah.
and like deep and really meaningful explanation to what no touch is.
Yeah.
Which is basically just don't touch me.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, to live separate lives like in peace and just be happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, mate, calm down. And so yeah, it's just like that type of adventure, and it's really fun.
Okay, that man, I feel like storylines like that can only happen in like Korean dramas or anime.
Yeah.
That's why we watched them.
Yeah, and then like I don't know if you've seen that meme, but it's basically I'm talking about different types of like dramas where it's like there's like always like a wave motion
Yeah.
to normal dramas, and then Koreans like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This should compare it to anime and so on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anime is just like
it's like
building
gradual
up, building up, building up, building
like
up, building
whoop,
up.
whoop,
Yeah,
whoop, whoop.
exactly. Everyone's all powering up.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah.
I mean, my recommendation is I finally got to watch on Netflix Weathering with You from the same creator of Your Name, which is another body swap story.
Yes.
I did. I mean, the art style once again was amazing, but the storyline I didn't feel like was as strong. It's very hard when you're comparing to such an amazing, perfect movie like Your
Exactly.
Name. So, Weathering with You, don't get me wrong, still amazing. Nothing to do with body swapping this time, but still the idea of like star-crossed lovers, that type of thing.
Yeah.
This guy meets this young girl, and they find out that she has the ability to pray for sunshine.
Yeah.
So Japan at that point had been raining non-stop for like a whole month, and so people they can't take graduation photos, they can't go enjoy the sunshine to go to the park. So they started this little business where people pay her, and then she starts being able to pray for sunshine, and it seems to work. But then, of course, there's some sort of problems that happen along the way, right, with her doing that. And so eventually you find out what that is, and then they have to try and deal with that.
I remember watching it, and I was such like, I think my favorite part of that was one, the art style, but like my most favorite was the music.
Oh, yeah.
The music was beautiful for
Yeah,
that.
for both films, the music's very memorable. Yeah, you play a little bit and say, oh, yeah, it's from that movie.
Yeah.
It's the whole point.
It's like, and it's so calming as well, whilst like also just kind of giving you like letting you feel all the emotions that they're trying to convey in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just the perfect match. So
Yeah.
definitely I also recommend that.
Cool. Well, we're hitting the time today, ladies and gentlemen. Next week's episode, there will be guests on again. I think, hopefully, it should
fingers
be.
crossed.
Fingers crossed. We have a whole bunch of guests lined up for you this term. Thanks for your feedback from last term. We've been able to take on some of that feedback, pass on the message to those teachers, so that those teachers have booked aside some time to be on the show. So don't feel like, hey, these two teachers don't listen to our feedback. No, we do. But we just need to find a time where we can actually incorporate those teachers in and make sure that they're free.
Yeah. And then it's like we also have like a bit of a backlog as well of who we want to talk to. So
Yeah. Still plenty of people to go.
Yeah.
So make sure you still keep tuning in.
Yeah. Anyway, until next time. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.